آریانا افغانستان یگانه شبکه تلویزیونی ملی افغانها در خارج از کشور.
توانا بود ارکی دانا بود، ز دانش دل پیر برنا بود. دلوی او بخون که خدای پنامه گران و قدرمن و دوستان سلام علیکم. هیله چی رو خوشحال هوارامسی او دن نورزی دی پوهن رناده په اخبارونه دیر خیراغ است. زه مریم اسماعیل ارسلایم او دا اخبارونه تاسته د آریانا افغانستان د نړیوال شبکې څخه وړاندې کوم. خدای دې کړي چې د نن ورځې اخبارونه معلومات هم ستاسو استفاده ور او په زړه پورسیږي. بینندگان عزیز و ارجمند برنامه دانش روشنایی است. با آرزوی صحت و سلامت شما برنامه امروز آغاز می‌کنیم. امیدوار هستم شاد و صحتمند باشین و در هر گوشه و کنار جهان گرسین با عزیزانتان هفته خوش و پرثمره سپری کرده باشین. دوستان عزیز ارجمند، برنامه امروز ما برنامه فوق‌العاده خوب و اختصاصی بگویم براتان است و برنامه بسیار مهم و ارزنده برای همه افغانای عزیز ما در سراسر جهان است. برنامه است که برای همتان قوت قلب میبخشه و براتان یک خوشی دست میده. البته دوستان عزیز شاید که اخبار حتما هم در همه جا دنبال میکنین و میدونین که خانم جوان عزیز افغان که اولین زن افغان در کنگرس امریکا البته کمپین خود آغاز کردن و برای بخش ششم مریلند چند روز قبل البته کمپین خود برای اندازیش آغاز کردن و ای که برای ما همه ما شما جای افتخار است که برای اولین بار زن افغان پا میگذاره در ساحه سیاست قدرت اول جهان، سوپر پاور اول جهان. و حتما شما به نام دکتر نادیا هاشمی آشناستین به خاطر که پیشرفتشان نام خدا بسیار زیاد رونق پیدا کرده و هر طرف که ببینین و صحبت‌هایشان میشنوین، مصاحبه‌هایشان میشنوین و ببینین که چقدر یک خانم که نه تنها اینا یک دکتر اطفال و یا پیدیاتریشن هستند، یک مؤلف و یا نویسنده هستند، 4 کتاب نوشتن و همچنان یک بزنس پیش میبرن و بزنس وومن هستند و مادر 4 فرزند از همه مهمتر که بسیار جای افتخار است که ما امروز دکتر نادیا هاشمی را با خود داریم. ولی قبل از اینکه با دکتر هاشمی به پای صحبت بنشینیم میخوایم که یک ویدیوی کلیپ 2 دقیقه ایشانه که معرفی آغاز کمپینشان است ببینین تا یک ذره آشنایی بیشتر با ایشان پیدا کنیم.
To the 4 pieces of my heart. I'm not sure when this note will reach you, but I hope that wherever you are healthy and smiling. You know me in a way the rest of the world doesn't. You've stood in the family deli where I worked as a young girl. You've known me as a doctor and even asked me about the children I cared for. You've sat in libraries and bookstores as I've talked about the importance of sharing stories. We are very fortunate. We've blown out birthday candles and learned to swim. We've given you space to discover who you are and who you want to be. But is that enough? What about the many others who are not so fortunate? And what of the future you're stepping into? Your father long ago asked me what I wanted out of this life, and I told him that I wanted to leave this incredible world in better shape than I found it. I hope, after many more candles have been blown out, that you'll look back and see me as one who stood up for what was right, as one who did not stand idle when our country's leaders replaced vision with bluster, when our planet was strained, when our neighbors stared into wallets forced to choose between filling a prescription or paying a bill. It's as if the people responsible to us don't know what it's like to be on the other side of those decisions. Here are my promises to you. I'll not shy away from the hard work. I'll not fear uncharted territory. I'll keep my word. I'll lead with my heart. I'll struggle, rise, uplift, aspire, and be grateful. One far-off day when you sit to pen your own note and think back on this one, I hope you'll make the same promises. I've been told people like me aren't supposed to run for office. I've been told it takes a lot of money. I've been told people won't vote for someone with my background. Not a single one of those voices is more determined than the one in my heart. They don't know how hard I'll fight, because I'll be fighting for you.
خب دوستان عزیز ارجمند، حالا می‌نشینیم به پای صحبت با دکتر نادیا آشمی، البته از طریق اسکایپ. کاش میشد که از نزدیک با ما می‌بودن. انشالله در آینده اگر این اورنج کمیتی بیان از اونا دعوت میکنیم که اگر بتونن که به استودیو ما بیان تشریف بیارن. دکتر آشمی بسیار خوش آمدین. خوشحال هستم که با ما هستین. It's a distinct honor having you with us and I appreciate having you at this very busy time for you.
یک جان تشکر. It's a pleasure to be here and speaking with you as well.
Thank you very much. Everyone is very excited. Like, just your name is flying everywhere. Everyone is talking about you. And as an Afghan woman, I'm very, very proud of you. And we're all proud of you. So if you wouldn't mind telling us, just to give us a background about yourself, before you started into politics, from the very beginning as a child or from when you were born maybe, and how before you started running for Congress, if you can give us a background about yourself, I would appreciate that.
Sure. I'm excited about this campaign also, but it's really, and I will tell you this as we've grown, it's not about me. This campaign is truly not about me. It is about a movement. It is about a movement to introduce more diversity and perspective into Congress and into the group of people who are making decisions on Capitol Hill. My early beginnings were like so many others. My parents came to this country from Afghanistan in the early part of the 1970s. So I was born and raised in this country. But of course, like so many people who were living here, we had this almost, I would call it a spiritual attachment to what was happening in Afghanistan. And so from a very young age, I remember sitting next to my father as he would watch the nightly news and look for any pieces of information, updates about what was happening in Afghanistan. And I think that was my introduction to be politically aware, globally aware, understanding that the world around me had a lot of moving parts and, understanding how we would fit into that world as well. And of course, my parents really stressed education. That was very important in our household. And so I knew from early on that my parents would do anything to enable me to achieve what I wanted to achieve in terms of academics. And they worked really hard to be able to give those opportunities to me and to my brother. And that has been the guiding principle, I think, in their lives, but then also in everything that I want to do too, is to push forward a better future and a better foundation for our children. So I grew up in the New York, New Jersey area. By the time I was 12 years old, my parents had purchased a deli in upstate New York. And so I started working in that family deli, spending a lot of hours alongside my parents, waking up very early in the morning to make coffee for everybody in town. And then from there, I went to Brandeis University. I studied biology and Middle Eastern studies. And then I went to medical school. And I did my medical school training in Brooklyn. And then I did my pediatric training at NYU Hospital in New York City as well. And during that time, I was also involved with a nonprofit organization called Afghan Communicator. And in that organization, especially right after 9/11, what we did was organize Heritage Day festivals in the different parks of New York City and Queens. celebrate the heritage and the culture, and especially to encourage that interaction between our community and then the greater New York community. Because especially after 9/11, it was important to make our presence known and to engage with others, that there was not a lot of fear, and we could break down some of those barriers. In 2008, I moved to Maryland with my husband, and we started working here. I was working at Children's Hospital in Washington, D.C. And after about a year, my husband gave me the idea and this little nudge that, I think you really have a passion for storytelling. So I started writing books. And of course, for me, the most compelling story to tell would be the stories of Afghan women, Afghan girls, families, all the challenges they had faced, everything that they had endured, and yet they were still rising from those stories as heroes. So those are the stories that I started writing, pulling from my family members' experiences and then pulling also from the news of what was happening in Afghanistan. And so after the stories and after the books, I've traveled quite a bit, spoken to lots and lots of people. I have book club groups and libraries and book festivals where I try to break down some of the stereotypes that people have around Afghans and Afghan women, and try to show how empowered Afghan women are and how much they are leading the way to the future of that country. And also to bring the issues back home and talk about drug addiction, not only in Afghanistan, but we're battling it here as well. And so from there, now this increased awareness of our community, what's happening in my world here in the United States, what kind of country are my children inheriting? And that's really the push for me to take this next step.
So when you were writing your books, when you started writing, were you still practicing medicine?
I was. When I started writing, I was practicing just about full time. And I was working shifts in an emergency room. So there were days that I was working, and then there were days that I didn't have a shift. So those were the days that I would start writing. And the stories just started to flow. And after my first story got picked up, I decided, well, that worked. I'm going to write another one. And it's almost addicting. The way one story reaches people and they start engaging with it, it gave me the stronger desire to then do the next one and the next one. I did slow down my pediatric practice as I started working more and more on the writing. But then I was also managing my husband's surgical practice. And so it created a bit of a balance in terms of family and work life as well.
Very good. So you are a mother of 4. You're running a business, a writer, a pediatrician, and now running for office. How do you balance your life? Because I do see your kids running around with you everywhere. So it seems like you are a very involved mother as well. So it's not that they are sitting, a nanny is watching them. So which is a good thing. So how do you balance all that?
Well, you hit it right on the head, and actually just right now one of them has walked into the room. So this is the work-life balance that we have to find, and I try to get my kids involved in everything that I'm doing so that they can see that mommy's working, they can see what mommy finds important. But at the same time, I cannot do it on my own. It does take a little bit of a village. And so I do what I do with the help of my parents, first and foremost, with definitely with the support of my husband. I could not do it without his support. And by that, I don't mean his blessing, but I mean he is such a big champion for me that he believes everything I do is important. And he believes that I can do even more and go to the next level as well. Of course, we do have a nanny who helps us, and she's amazing. So, all of this comes together to make it possible for me to do what I do.
Great, that's awesome. So, what can you tell us about the progress of your campaign at this point? Because I see a lot of enthusiasm around, so tell us what the enthusiasm is all about. And of course I know it, but still I want to hear it from you, and tell us your progress.
No, I appreciate that. There is a lot of enthusiasm, and I'm really excited about that. I brought this idea up into the world, and next thing you know, between my friends and family, they started to feed into it and give it more momentum and drive their own energy into it. And we started to build a team. And my team right now is incredible. And to be honest, it's a team of young Afghan Americans. They're incredibly talented. Everything that they do with a lot of heart. And so to be very honest with you, we spend a lot of time here at my house working until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, one person's on one couch over here, the other one's in this chair over here. And we've got some, you know, drinks and water all over the place and snacks. But we keep going and we're having a good time with it because we're doing this together. We're passionate about it because we feel like this is a really important moment where we can bring a different voice to the table, where we can bring my voice, which is representative of my community. We don't have a female physician in Congress right now. We, of course, have not had many Muslim voices in Congress. We only have 2 men who are there right now. So there is a historic element to this campaign as well. I'm not running based on the fact that, you know, people should vote for me because I am of Afghan descent or because I am of this faith or whatever. It's more of the platform. But we can't ignore the fact that there is an identity associated with it as well.
Question too, because I wanted to ask you what makes you special compared to the other candidates or to your opponent. So you answered that question, I think, but if still there's anything to add to it, feel free to do that. So my next question is, so far, or even do you predict any challenges or any obstacles throughout your campaign?
Sure. I mean, there are always obstacles. I will not pretend that this is going to be an easy road. Otherwise, we wouldn't be up till 3 in the morning every night. And we do wake up early in the morning too, because, you know, with 4 kids, they don't sleep in. But, you know, the obstacles are that in order to run a campaign in this country, the way the system works is that you are measured by the amount of money you can raise. And so that is one of the challenges that we have to face, because the money really has to come initially, at least, from friends and family. And, you know, this is new. This is new for our community to be involved in politics in this kind of way. But we're out there and we've been actually really pleased to see the support that we're getting from our community. But it is a challenge because the needs are great. And so every little bit that people are giving so generously, every little bit of it, we are really appreciative for. And to be honest, we're not spending it. Like I said, we're mostly a team of volunteers. We only have 1 person on staff right now. And the rest of it we are doing on a voluntary basis. And we do that because we need to keep that money in the bank to show our strength, to show our viability. The rest of the challenges really come with getting the name out there. And so what we're doing about that is that I am engaging with the community. We are at some kind of event. Almost every night of the week, we're trying to get out there and organize a meet and greet or attend an event and be present, talk to people, engage in the issues, and have those conversations so that people know what my values are and what I bring to the table.
Great. So the kind of support that you're seeking and expecting, are you almost there? Are you getting all that support, or you still hope that it improves?
We're getting different kinds of support. When it comes to the team support, we have volunteers who are signing up with us every day. Mm-hmm. People are actually reaching out to us saying, I want to join in. I've seen your video, I've seen your platform, and I want to be part of this. And that's been amazing. So we're trying to bring those individuals in, and there's room for everyone, you know, whether it's volunteering remotely or whether it's coming into our office and doing stuff alongside us or attending an event. The financial support, again, it is coming in, but I could not, I just, in all honesty, I could not say that, no, we have enough and we're good. The needs are still really great. We're in a good position for what we were able to do just coming out the gate. But we, in this quarter, between now and the end of December, really have to show our strength. This is a testing period. And so everything that we can raise in this time period is absolutely critical.
And I kind of feel that you will win this election, and if you win, or I should say when you win, inshallah, what are your plans and missions?
So all of my plans really center around, again, my parents decided everything that they were going to do with the idea that they should build a strong foundation for me and for my brother, for us to be able to succeed. And that, I believe, is the same philosophy we should use in government to provide opportunities for the generations coming up behind us. So for example, in terms of healthcare, we have to make sure that our children are covered. The CHIP bill, which provides medical coverage to 9 million children, expired. And it's now been nearly a month, and we still have not fixed that. And so that is going to be a gap for 9 million children unless government can get its act together and renew that bill and renew that funding. That's not really giving those kids a strong foundation. When I look at what's happening around climate issues and environmental policies, there's a move away from science. And I know you can appreciate that since you are a scientist. When we move away from using science to guide our practices and our policies, we're doing a disservice to the generation that's going to inherit this planet and the problems that come along with it. And the same thing with gun violence. We still have not done anything to address the issue of gun violence. There's actually a Dickey Amendment which prevents the most prestigious research institutions of this country from looking into the effects of gun violence and researching what are some possible solutions. So if we don't even research the solutions, how are you going to make any progress around that? This country loses far too many lives, over 30,000 lives per year to gun violence.
For Afghans, when you went, I know it's other than that we're going to be proud. Well, of course, we'd be very proud of you. We'll be very excited. And what else is there for Afghans once you win the election? Like,
Sorry, I didn't. What else is?
I know as all Afghans all over the world, and not just in the United States, abroad in Afghanistan, everyone will be very proud of you for winning this election. Are there any kind of support that how should I say it? Like, how much attention would you pay to the situations that's happening to in Afghanistan, to girls, to children, about public awareness and all that?
I think that's a great question. And I think that paying attention to what's happening in Afghanistan, paying attention to the future and the potential in Afghanistan is not something that I would do only because my family comes from that country. I think every American is invested in that country as well, because how many of our neighbors, of our community members are going around and serving in Afghanistan? When I drive around now, I see all the bumper stickers, AFG, meaning people who have served in the military and spent time away from their families and been embedded in that country to help rebuild it and build that future for the people who are living there. The more stable Afghanistan is, the more of a thriving economy it has, the better off we are here in America, because that means less need for putting our soldiers, our community members on the ground over there, less lives that will be lost, a better international diplomacy and interaction, and fewer refugees that are right now, fleeing to Europe and other countries and looking even to the United States, because Afghanistan continues to suffer from violence and economic lack of opportunity for people there. If the girls have stable education, if the economy provides jobs so that people can feed their families, if there is peace, it is in America's interest.
So once you win the election, like I say, I'm very optimistic because I know you're going to win. I can feel it. I can see it in you.
I love that optimism. Love it.
What would it mean for your family once you win? And were you thinking about, as you were planning all this, were you thinking about your family also, how would it affect them and what it would mean for them?
Absolutely. I have to consider my family in everything that I do. And for me, obviously, Washington, D.C. is very close. So that's a huge plus for me, that I would not have to travel very far. Of course, there would be other requirements and other travels associated with it, but But it is nice that I live so close to Washington, D.C. And that's also a huge motivation, because when you see that Washington, D.C. and Capitol Hill is so close, you realize that we can have a stake in government. We can have that interaction. And the government is not this far off place that's high on a mountaintop that we cannot reach. It is within reach, and we can have more control there. You know, I do this. It does take time away from my children. We are making some sacrifices. I have stepped away from my writing and from my other jobs in order to put my full time and energies into this to make it a success. But I do it because I believe that this will give my children a different perspective, that it will empower them. I specifically look at my daughter, and I know that when she becomes an adult and when she starts to think about what she can possibly do, she will draw strength from what I've done, just the same way that I've looked at what my mother has done. And I knowing that my mother became an engineer in a time in Afghanistan when not a lot of women were doing that, gave me that sense that, you know, I can do something bigger too. And I shouldn't set limits on myself, even if other people do that. And that's what I hope that my children will get out of this experience.
Excellent. So as a child, what did you want it to be when you grew up? What were you thinking? Did you want to be a doctor? Did you want to be a teacher? What did you want to be?
You know, it's all of the above. And that might be the problem with me, but I really, there's so much that I love. I have passion for so many things. You know, for teachers, I've loved all of my teachers, and I think teachers provide such value because they give that foundation. They give those beginning sparks of excitement for different subjects. So in my first book, actually, in the acknowledgements, I acknowledge all the teachers that I've ever had, because each one of them has had an impact on me and guided me to become who I am. So I love teachers. I thought it would be incredible to teach one day, and I have taught residents who I've worked with in medicine as well, and in other areas too. We all do some kind of teaching. I also did always want to be a doctor because I love the science, and I love the interaction between science and working directly with people and engaging with them, becoming that partner and making them enabled to get to a better state of health or to fix whatever that ailment is that they're working on. But I've also always had an interest in international affairs and the world beyond our four walls. And so, you know, there are times that I wondered if diplomacy or there were other avenues. And my family tells me that at some point when I was younger, I said that I wanted to be president of the United States. Now, I don't remember that. But
you will be, I hope.
But I think that I've always been drawn to roles of leadership and roles where we can tackle some of the bigger problems and make a big difference to people's lives.
And if I'm not mistaken, for the person who is right now, the congressperson for Maryland, did you say he is going to be running for president?
He is, yes. He stepped down from his seat and he's running for the presidency.
So you're going to be next, I hope. Well, you never know. You could be the next president, I hope. You were born here. You're highly qualified. I mean, for a person like you, sky is the limit. You are very ambitious, very energetic. And maybe later I'll ask you about the secrets of all this. But now, since you...
No, I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. But I'll tell you, it takes a village to get to this point. And I hope that any young person that may be listening, or even any parents that are listening, I hope that they will empower the young people to understand that truly, truly, the sky is the limit. And sometimes our biggest barriers are the ones that we create for ourselves in our minds.
Right. So since you were talking about teachers and education, being a teacher, I wanted to know, how would you support public education?
I'm a believer in public education. You know, we do have the means to send our children to private school if we wanted, but we're believers in public education. And so our children go to the public school here. And I think the stronger we can make our public schools, the better we'll all be, because I want all children to have that opportunity, not just the kids who live in the good zones or the good zip code areas. I think we have to give all of our children a strong foundation. Otherwise, we're doing a disservice to their future. And again, it comes back to making decisions that are in the best interest of the children. Because if we have a solid foundation, they're already on a path to greatness and to success, and that's better for the country as a whole.
Right. So you are a product of public education yourself, right?
Yeah, I went to public schools all my life, and even in medical school, I went to a state medical school as well, and I think it's been great. I've benefited a lot from public education.
Of course. So, Dr. Hashimi, if you had to do it all over again, what would you change about your education, your life, your career? Would you start like into politics from the very beginning, or you wouldn't change anything, or what would you do different?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't think I would change anything. I think that if I had gone straight into politics, I wouldn't have the experiences that I have. And if I had skipped the writing, I wouldn't have had the experiences in medicine. So I am who I am because I've done all of those different things. And as a pediatrician, it's such a privilege to have those moments where I've been in a delivery room. I've been in many delivery rooms and handed newborn babies to really excited parents. I've also been present for some of the most difficult and harrowing moments in families' lives where they lose a child, and experiencing everything in between. That has made me who I am. That's given me a connection to people and an understanding of their needs and the challenges that we all face. Writing the books has taken me all over the world and shown me a different way of weaving the arts into social issues and justice. And putting those two together is what led me to where I am today. So I wouldn't change a thing. I would keep everything as it is, because that's been the formula that's created me.
Great, thank you. So, Dr. Hashimi, where would you see yourself like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now?
Oh, that's a tough question. I think wherever I will be in 5 or 10 years, wherever this universe has decided that my path will be, there's also the factor of what do I want to do and what direction do I want to take. And whatever I'm doing, I hope that it will be working towards the betterment of other people's lives and teaching my children how to be responsible citizens in this world, and giving them that platform where they can be engaged, where they can be inspired by the world around them, and where they can also be inspiring. So, there's a balance between what I see for myself in 5, 10, 20 years, but also what I want to create for those around me.
Very good. Dr. Hashimi, I do not have any more questions for you. Is there a final message that you have, or is there something that I did not ask you and you would like to let our viewers know, or any messages, especially for young people?
For the young people, as I said, just, the sky's the limit. Work together, support each other. And that's one thing that my team and we are working together. The community around me has really rallied. We look to find each other's talents and lift each other up. So I would encourage all young people to do that. Make contacts within your communities. You never know when you'll come back to these individuals, and we can all support one another through our various talents. I could not do what I'm doing now without my team. And I hope that in this process, in a year from now, I've told them I want them all to be in a much different position, their resumes boosted, their profiles boosted, and having learned and experienced something that none of us have experienced before. We're going to continue to share the journey. I'm going to continue to be very transparent and put videos on Facebook and on clips on Twitter and Instagram and all of these social media channels, so that people can see exactly what it looks like to run for office, especially as an outsider. I want other people to understand the process and feel like they could do it too. So I would encourage everyone, if you're on social media, follow me on all of those outlets. All of the links can be found on our website, which is nadiahashimi.com. And if you feel empowered by this, then I hope that you will invest in our campaign and in our movement. And of course, there is a big, happy, smiling donation button on the website as well. And just be part of the conversation. Please do engage with us.
Very good. I apologize. I do have one more question. If you would give parents advice, what advice would you give them as not only just as a parent, but also from your experience with your own parents, which they allowed you going from medical field into politics. They supported you. Of course, you're an adult now, but what suggestion, what advice would you give them? Because sometimes parents, especially the ones that weren't raised here, they were older, they push their children into either medical field or engineering, but what is your advice for them? What should they do to help their kids be more successful?
You know, that's a great question. I have to say, my parents really gave me a lot of room. They did not force me to go into medicine, but they knew I had a passion for it, and they believed in my abilities. They believed in my potential. So they gave me the tools to be able to do that. I will say, though, when I started writing books, I did not tell them that I started writing until I actually had a deal to get a book published, because I knew it would make them really, really nervous after having spent all that time and energies on building the foundation for me to pursue medicine. And I remember when I told my father that I wrote a book and I had started writing, he said, "That's great." And then he said, "But you'll still be a doctor, right?" And so I know that there is that comfort when we have stable careers, when we have that our parents can feel comfortable that we will be able to, you know, support ourselves no matter what happens. But I think it's important for parents also to realize that everyone has to follow their passion. And, you know, I could not do computer science, for example, because I don't have that passion for it. And yet there are other people who do, and they build such successful careers based on it, and, you know, exceed our expectations. And I see that with my team members. I see that with the community that we've been interacting with. So we really do have to respect the fact that there are very respectable and prestigious careers outside of, you know, medicine and engineering, but people really have to follow their passion, because if they follow their passion, they will succeed.
Great. Dr. Hashimi, if you have time, I do have some calls. Do you mind if I take a couple of calls?
Sure. Absolutely.
بله سلام بفرمایید. تلویزیون آریان افغانستان. سلام. Hello. I think they shied away, but that's okay. I knew you were pressed on time. I wish you lots of success and best of luck. And I can't wait to celebrate your success with you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Gunyon Tashakkur. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with all of you. And I hope that we can make everybody proud, and we will take this all the way to the end. بسیار تشکر از وقتتان که این وقت بسیار busy و مصروفتان you give your time to our viewers که بر ما وقت دادین. بازم موفقیت های بی پایانتان آرزو میکنیم و با انشالله که امرایتان همکاری می داشته باشیم. And hope to have you at the studio with me.
Mera bonastain, Atman. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
تشکر. خداحافظ. خداحافظتان. دوستای عزیز ارجمند، دیدین که قسمت برنامه امروز براتون یک انرژی مثبت میبخشه، براتون یک امید جدید میبخشه که ببینین که یک خانم افغان جوان که در اینجا تولد شده و هنوز هم به فکر چقدر یعنی کارهای مثبت میکنه و این کارهایی که وقتی به پالیتیکس و یا سیاست داخل میشن، این خودش یک چیز بسیار مثبت برای تمام افغان‌ها و برای مملکت ماست و برای نسل‌هایی که در اینجا بزرگ میشن که در زندگیشان بسیار تغییرات مثبت میآید و امیدوارم که همه بتونن که دکتر هاشمی را از هر نگاه پشتیبانی و سپورت کنن. خب دوستای عزیز ارجمند، بعد از یک وقفه به بخش دوم برنامه میریم. در بخش دوم برنامه جوانای عزیز ما مؤسسین UCLA از طریق اسکایپ با ما هستند که اونا در مورد کالج دی امریکان صحبت میکنن و معلومات میدن، مخصوصا برای پدر و مادرایی که بر نوجوانایی که های سکول و مدل سکول هستن معلومات از اونا بسیار برشون مفید واقع میشه. لطفاً با ما باشین بعد از یک وقفه کوتاه.
ارکی دانا بود ز دانش دل پیر برنا بود.
دوستان عزیز ارجمند با سلام های مجدد شما با من مریم اسماعیل ارسلا در برنامه پوهنه راناده و یا دانش روشنایی هستین و قسمی که گفتم در این بخش برنامه جوانان مسئولین عزیز ما که در UCLA انجمن مسئولین افغان دارن اونا رو با خود داریم و در مورد یک پروگرام بسیار مهمه که برای همه مفید واقع میشه صحبت میکنن و فکر میکنم که کوثر جان اول امر ما خود بپیوندن. سلام
خانم ارسلا، از شما بسیار زیاد تشکری میکنیم که ما را به برنامه خود خواستین. Thank you very much for your time. We highly appreciate it.
My pleasure. And would you introduce yourself as well?
Yeah. To introduce myself.
Hi, I'm Rafi Hashimi. I'm with the UAC Afghan Club here too, and really excited to talk about College Day.
Very good. So, what can you tell us about College Day?
Yes, so the United Afghan Club, technically our events are geared towards helping the Afghan community in Southern California and abroad. So College Day will be hosted this Saturday, and we provide workshops on resume reading and application reading, especially with personal statements. There will also be a panel from USC, which is a private university. A lot of our students don't know that they can apply to public universities, and they have options of private universities as well. And technically, this is just us helping the Afghans in Southern California have a way to come into higher education and pursue higher education and go after professions that have and promise a stable future and etc. Rafi John can talk about our initiatives with the College Day and how we want to host this event on Saturday.
Sure. The way we're going to have it organized is that we'll be able to bring in all the Afghan kids in the local Southern California area in the morning, and then throughout the whole day from around 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. we'll have different speakers on all kinds of topics, like Kauser mentioned, resumes, personal statements, but also on more detailed things like exactly what kind of college they should apply to, what's the right fit for them, what kind of programs are available, what sort of major, things like that. So the kids really feel ready and they're really prepared and happy once they're sent off to college.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if some students, if they have trouble, right, with their application process, would you help them with that too, or any other support?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of students are scared of applying to, universities and other higher education because they're afraid that either their GPA is too low, or they don't have enough extracurriculars, or they're just not qualified for university. So instead, they go to college route, which is, that is doable as well. But a lot of students just need that extra push that we want to provide. And when they come to our event on Saturday, at UCLA, we will be able to look at their applications. We will be able to edit their personal statements, go over financial aid. A lot of students can't afford, a $30,000 a year tuition, for 4 years. That's a lot. So what we will be helping them with is scholarships and applying for scholarships and applying for financial aid. Personally, as an immigrant, I found all of these processes very hard to do, but I'm grateful enough to have had an older brother who went through the UC system and he was able to help me, and I feel a lot of students don't have the opportunities to ask someone for help for their applications, and the parents don't necessarily have familiarity with the situation, so that we hope to do.
And if anyone is interested in attending or helping or being involved in our College Day at all this Saturday, please send an email to uclafg@gmail.com. That's uclafg@gmail.com.
uclafg@gmail.com. Did you say Gmail?
Say it again. Yeah. So it was uclafg@gmail.com.
Very good. So where because in the past, I know you guys had different locations that you were picking them up for. Do you guys this time also have some means of transportation to help some people who are coming from far away? Or
Yes, ma'am. That's a great question. We do have mode of transportation. If students are unable to come from, for example, the OC, we have drivers that are willing to go out there and pick up the students. We have CLA vans. These are certified drivers. And the goal of this event, just overall goal is just to have more Afghans pursuing higher education. Now, on the UCLA campus, we probably have about 25 Afghan undergrads. And it's very unfortunate because, there's a large SoCal Afghan community, but, some students, they don't have the opportunities to ask for help. And we try to give it our best in order to make them come to schools like UCLA easier. Mm-hmm. So things like transportation, breakfast and lunch, those things are provided. As long as students send us an email to uclafg@gmail.com, we will be able to process their request and let them know the situation of the event and pick up and drop off location times, things like that.
Okay, and now we have your email on the screen as well. For people to see. دوستای عزیز ایمیل که روی صفحه تلویزیون میبینین uclafg@gmail.com میتونین که با این جوان عزیز با تماس شوین اگر فرزندانتان آرزو داشته باشین که روز شنبه و روز کالج دی در پروگرام از این اشتراک کنن. و دوستای عزیزی که ایمیل ندارن و دسترس ندارن میتونین که با ما تلفن کنین بعد از برنامه که ما امروزینا با تماس معلومات براتون بگیرم، باز شماره امرشون با تماس بگذارم و یا آل خودشان میگم که شماره تلفن اگر با ما هم بتن به خاطر که شاید بعضی ایمیل نداشته باشن که امرتون کمک شود. If possible, because some parents, especially the newcomers, they might not have an email address, but still we have families that their children are very anxious to do well and they want to succeed, and those parents want their kids to succeed, but yet they do not have the means to communicate with you. Would it be possible for them to call you at a certain number?
Yes, ma'am. That's actually very perfect. We didn't think of that. So the best number to contact is 909 289 9390.
9390. شماره تلفن 909 289 93 93 909 289 9393. اگر خواسته باشین که از طریق تلفن با این جوانا با تماس شوین میتونین که تلفن کنین و معلومات بگیرین که در کجا میتونین که فرزندانتان ببرین که اینا اونا را پیکاپ کنن و به UCLA ببرشن. این پروگرام خوب خود که برشان راهنمایی کنه. So how long does the program last? Do they bring their lunch with them? Do you serve them lunch too? Do you give them a tour of the campus, cafeteria and everywhere, or what?
Yes, ma'am. So we will be providing the breakfast. We will be having muffins and coffee and just breakfast material, and we will be serving it in a classroom setting, just so we have a meet and greet with the students. And then we will also be having a lunch break, and during the lunch break we have catering, so that will be taken care of by UCLA. I understand that some people have halal restrictions, and that is also taken care of. And if students have any special requests, like if they're allergic to A, B, or C, they could just email that information to us, and we will make sure to accommodate them. And for the phone number, the last 4 digits are 9390.
Thank you so much. 289 9390.
Right.
289-9390, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the UCLA student body that will be helping these students, are they all undergrad students?
Yeah, we have a number of undergraduate students helping, but we also have people involved in graduate programs, in dentistry, in medicine, and we have students who have graduated and are currently involved in things like law and lots of other professional fields.
Would they be speaking to these young people also or no?
Yes.
That's wonderful because that's more inspiring for young people to see. And
Yeah.
I know in the past I've helped you guys with promoting your program, College Day, and I've had a lot of great feedback from people. They've enjoyed it. You guys have inspired a lot of people. So UCLA students are wonderful in their community service for their fellow Afghans and inspiring them, encouraging them, and directing them, guiding them. That's really awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much. We've had a lot of success in the past, so we're happy to be hosting it this year.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us. We highly appreciate your time and the passion you have for Afghan students and their futures. It's truly inspiring. We weren't expecting to actually have the opportunity to come on TV, but you made it possible. So thank you so much. We are forever grateful.
You're welcome.
And students, please come out to UAC's College Day. We are more than happy to host you. We are more than happy to have you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time and also that you are providing these services. Maybe if you guys can tell me a little bit about yourselves too. What are you majoring in and what year of study do you have right now?
Sure. So I'm a third-year psychobiology major, and my minor is in global health. I will be going into medicine, inshallah. I'm currently the president of the Afghan Student Association at UCLA, and I recently started an NGO at UCLA, Heart of Mercy. And Dr. John?
I'm a physics undergraduate student here at UCLA, second year. I have a minor in mathematics as well, so if any students are interested in that kind of thing, I could probably help them out quite a bit. And inshallah, I'd like to go to graduate school in physics eventually.
Event is this Saturday. From what time to what time, just to make sure people who just joined us or just to refresh their memory? Just to tell us.
Oh, it'll be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah. So our registration will be from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. just to give latecomers some time for registration and whatnot. But the event will most likely end at 4 p.m.
And is there a website that you also have all this information that people could get in there?
So our Facebook event has this information, and on Thursday we will be sending out a mass email to all people that registered as volunteers and every individual that registered as students. So on Thursday they will receive a very cohesive informational packet about where to be dropped off and what time the event's going to be, what time lunch is served, when the panels are, everything like that.
Okay, and I'll be happy to share your information on my page too if you want to send them to me. I'll be happy to do that, so for more people to see it.
Absolutely, we will share. Well, the Facebook page has most of the information on it. And was there something that you asked? I'm sorry, I didn't catch.
I said if you wanted to share the information or tag me, I would be happy to share it on my page too, so for more people to see it.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, we will do that. We're looking forward to doing that.
Okay.
We'll do it right after the show.
All right. Anything else that you have to talk about, or are you done?
Do you have anything to add for College Day?
Nothing in particular, really, just that we're really excited to be able to help some local students, and we have people who are really experts in just about every kind of professional field, so whatever you're interested in, we probably have an Afghan who's doing fairly well at it. So,
and for students, I don't want them to feel intimidated or as if we're like talking down to them or anything, or however way they're feeling. I was in their position once, Dr. John was in their position once. This is an event for Afghans to help other Afghans like you are helping us. So I highly urge them and recommend for them to take advantage of this opportunity. The college application process is daunting. Whether you're applying in a year or 2 years, it's daunting. It doesn't change. But when you have support, when you have other people helping you, you feel better, and you have, better chances of feeling comfortable and just going through with your application. And this event is open for all high school students and all college students interested in transferring to a four-year university. If you have any questions, please reach out to our email. We are very quick with responding. And for parents, this is a very safe event. It's purely educational, and we want it to be beneficial to our community members, inshallah.
And in the past, I remember a few years ago, you guys also had part of I attended one of your programs of the college days, one of the years. You guys had some guest speakers, some professionals, Afghan professionals, at the auditorium, and they spoke about their field of study and about their careers. And all the young people, they really were into it. They were very involved, and then at the end they had the chance to talk to everyone one-on-one and ask questions. And I found that very effective. Do you have something like that this year too, or no?
Yes, ma'am. We do. We have a couple of guests coming in. We have a student from School of Dentistry at UCLA. We have alumnus working in the field of medicine that are coming. And we also have a paralegal studies at UCLA student coming to our event. So as far as fields go, we have medicine, the field of media and marketing, and law, as well as dentistry. So these are students of different backgrounds. They're not the traditional students that, first went to college, then they went to graduate school, and then they started their careers. These are students that have had, difficulties getting into college. They've had difficulties with grad school. These are real people like you and I. They're not, just the cookie cutter, everything is perfect type of people. It's like they worked hard to where they are, and they're very inspirational, which is why we wanted them to be on panels.
Wonderful. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for providing this kind of service and for continuing this kind of programs. They are very effective and beneficial. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you. Thank you for your time, and to your whole team. We highly appreciate it, and we hope for you to come out to our future events, inshallah. And, thank you for all that you do.
All right. Thank you very much, and have a good evening. خب دوستان عزیز ارجمند، این بود برنامه امروز ما. با تشکر مجدد از دکتر نادیا هاشمی که در یک وقت بسیار زیقشان، وقت گرانبهای خود در اختیار برنامه ما گذاشتن و در مورد کمپین خود صحبت کردن و در مورد خود صحبت کردن، معلومات دادن. و از جوان عزیز UCLA که سرویس بسیار خوبی را فراهم می‌سازن برای جوانان، و از همکار عزیزم شهاب جان که امروز مخصوص اسکیجول خود تغییر دادن که بیان امروز ما همکاری کنن. واقعا ممنونشان هستم. همکار بسیار فوق‌العاده خوبم است و خوشبخت هستم که امروز ما همکاری میکنن. و تشکر از شما عزیزان و بینندگان گرامی و دوست داشتنی که همیشه تشویق شما و ایمیل های پر از محبتتان، پیام هایتان در فیسبوک از طریق مسنجر بر من زیادتر انرژی می بخشد تا بتانم که برنامه های بهتر براتان تهیه کنم. تا هفته آینده شما را به خداوند بزرگ می سپارم. خداوند یار و مددگارتان.
دانا بود ارکی دانا بود، ز دانش دل پیر برنا بود.